Who's the worst main character we're supposed to sympathize with? That bitch from the Bears that goes in their house and eats all their porridge. The kids from the Trix cereal commercials. All the rabbit wants to do is eat some cereal, but the kids won't let him just because he's a rabbit. Racist pricks. Emily from Emily in Paris, she fucks up and barely suffers the consequences. Sleeping with a friend's partners and still remains friends with both of them openly. Screws up business opportunities, nothing besides a slap on the wrists, and somehow, it's magically resolved. And her whole I am a dumb American, Bon Apple Tea. And she dresses like if Harry Styles was colorblind. Mark from Rent. I love Rent, but as I get older the more ridiculous it gets. Mark is a rich kid who has parents that love him, but he runs off to cosplay as someone who is poor to make films, which is really just him pointing his camera at poor people all day. He doesn't think he should have to pay rent to Benny because they were friends and he let them stay for free for a long time, and he thinks that should just last forever. Then he finally gets a job but quits because it was selling out. Ugh. That stupid Will Smith fish in Shark Tales. That dude from The Notebook. If you don't go on a date with me, I'll kill myself. Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. Dude's son straight up got kidnapped and his wife got injured to the point she couldn't perform surgeries because his stepdad put a hit out on her, and it still wasn't enough for him to leave his dumb motorcycle club. His wife begged him to leave for their safety and he wouldn't. She tried to leave on her own with her children and he stopped her. Then she ends up getting murdered by his psycho mom. Dude was a straight up POS. Cade Yeager from the newer Transformers movies. Was Sam a good main character? No. Not at all. But damn, Cade is horrible. In his first, let's say, 10 minutes on screen we learn that he doesn't pay for his house, his electricity, he doesn't pay his employee, he is a shit inventor, overly protective of his daughter and all around an ass. And he only gets worse. That bald-headed little bastard from a kids show who acts like a spoiled shit. Kaylo did not want to go to the park today. Like all days Kaylo was being passive-aggressive. Evan Hansen, he's a legit monster. /r/GrandPageOE hate. Sierra Burgess. She was a dick. This is the thread where I learn how out of touch with popular culture I am. I would have said Nate from Ted Lasso, but the show caught my vibe and turned him into the antagonist. I hope he doesn't get a redemption arc. Dawson Leary from Dawson's Creek. What industry do you hope won't exist in 10 years? The fuckers that make college textbooks $2,000. Everything is a subscription. As a tech worker I understand why this is so popular, but god do I hate it. Edit. Some subscriptions can genuinely offer amazing value to consumers. My problem is the mass adoption of subscription on products and services that have no business being a subscription. Those that exist solely so companies can make more money off of you. Not everything should be a subscription. Scam call centers. Third-party student loan consultants. I used to work as a federal student loan collector for a Department of Education contractor. I have horror stories about borrowers who were purposefully deceived by these people, the worst of whom was someone who thought a consolidation she paid for completely eliminated her obligation. What these legally gray assholes do is trick people into paying to have free paperwork done on their behalf. Sure, they have the tiny fine print disclosures, but they're extremely predatory and make me sick. Getting rid of them could be legislation worthy, given that they interfere with federally owned debts. Child modeling and anything to do with children being publicized on social media. MLM/pyramid schemes. Pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs. Look them up. They're basically blood-sucking middlemen that sit between hospitals and health insurers. Supposedly created to control prescription drug costs and manage formularies, but they actually drive prices up. One of the many terrible causes of high medical costs in the States. Telemarketers. Puppy/kitten farms. The concert ticket mafia. Ticketmaster/StubHub/Live Nation. Fuck them. EDA, I know those entities aren't really an entire industry. They basically have the market monopolized, though. The troubled teen industry. Look up Nexpo's video on Law School and you'll see what I mean. Abusing minors for money shouldn't be an industry. Edit, didn't realize this would get so much traction, so if you're interested in helping advocate against TTI, head over to r/troubled teens and join our little crew. 24-hour propaganda media outlets masquerading as news. Payday loans. Mommy/family vloggers. They're Sinister, a podcast I listened to did a 7 episode deep dive and it was horrifying. There needs to be laws to protect these exploited children, and in 10 to 20 years we're going to see a lot of these kids telling their horror stories and suing their parents. Edit to add, the podcast is called Someplace Underneath. It's episodes 56 to 62. For-profit prisons. What film made you say, holy shit, there is still 50 minutes left? In the Criterion classic Freddy Got Fingered, towards the end of the movie, there's a big crowd scene with people holding signs welcoming home the heroes. One of the signs reads, "When the fuck is this movie going to end?" The Sound of Music. They get married and I said that was a nice ending, and my wife says the Nazis haven't arrived. Pearl Harbor. There's the climactic attack on Pearl Harbor. It's explosive and tragic. So many people getting hurt and killed. And then, the movie slows down. And keeps going. For another hour. Ugh. Gladiator made me say holy shit, there is only 50 minutes left. He enters the Colosseum in second half of the movie. I felt like it had just started. I have the opposite problem with David Lynch projects. You realize there's 10 minutes left, and there's no way he's going to wrap this up in that time and have it make sense, unless he comes out right now and reads it to you. But I always come back for more, like a victim of confused abuse. Titanic, when you put that second tape in the VCR. Full Metal Jacket. In an excellent way. Daft Punk's Electroma. Good fucking god, it was like a solid hour of a robot walking through the desert. For horror lovers, The Wailing. Transformers: Age of Extinction, that movie was so awful I never even finished it. The extended versions of The Lord of the Rings. Didn't realize how much additional footage there was. Amazing though. The Irishman 3.5-hour runtime was a little long for one sitting. Black Adam. I know it was only 2 hours, but to me it felt so much longer. In a good way, Barbarian. Was baffled at the midpoint where the thing you know if you saw the movie happens, lol. Also Skinamarink. As much as the movie has grown on me, the short film version heck just works better. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Not in a bad way. I just remember feeling like I was watching the climax and then it kept going.